Hello there, I'm Paula Lepon, and today is Friday, March 6, 2015, and today I'm going to be explaining the process of photosynthesis. Let's look at the learning targets first. I'm going to be talking about how plants use chemistry to convert water and carbon dioxide into carbohydrates and oxygen in the light-dependent and light-independent reactions, how the light-dependent cycle works and how energy is transferred from sunlight into ATP, and finally how the Calvin cycle works, and I will describe the transfer of carbon from carbon dioxide to sugar. This is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process used by plants and other organisms to convert light energy from the sun into chemical energy that can be later released to fuel the organism's activities. This process consists of a series of chemical reactions that require carbon dioxide, which is CO2, and water, H2O, and store chemical energy in the form of sugar. Light energy from light drives the reactions. Oxygen is a byproduct of photosynthesis and is released into the atmosphere. The following equation that you see right now summarizes photosynthesis. Now, here's a diagram of a chloroplast. Chloroplasts are the organelles in green plants that contain chlorophyll on their membranes. It is the chlorophyll that uses light energy to run the electron transport chain that eventually results in the formation of glucose in photosynthesis. Chloroplasts are just organelles that hold chlorophyll and provide the membranes in which photosynthesis is done. Without chlorophyll, chloroplasts couldn't do anything on their own. Chlorophyll is found in the thylakoid sacs of the chloroplasts. There's one right there. Chlorophyll is the pigment that absorbs red and blue and reflects green, which makes plants look green. Chlorophyll captures the sun's energy and is used as energy to complete the photosynthesis process, which is the light-dependent reaction. Thylakoid membranes are the site of the light-dependent reactions of photosynthesis. Thylakoids consist of a thylakoid membrane surrounding a thylakoid lumen. Chloroplasts frequently form stacks of discs referred to as granum, which is right there. A granum is connected by stroma, which joins granum sacs together as a single functional compartment. And now I'm gonna explain the process of the light-dependent reaction, which takes place in the thylakoid membrane. So first, sunlight is absorbed in photosystem 2. Next, water, which is H2O, is absorbed and it's broken down into H+ ions, electrons, and oxygen. The H+ ions move across the thylakoid membrane. The electrons move into the electron transport chain, while the oxygen is released. And then sunlight is absorbed into photosystem 1. The electrons then move out of the electron transport chain and they change NADP plus to NADPH. And the H+ ions travel through the ATP synthase, which is right there. So they travel through ATP synthase and they change ADP into ATP. And that's how it works. And now, here's the Calvin cycle, which takes place in the stroma. The Calvin cycle is a light-independent reaction because it does not directly make use of any energy from light photons. Instead, the products of the Calvin cycle are derived from the products of the light-dependent reaction, such as ATP and NADPH. So, the first step is, here's carbon dioxide, CO2, and it's added to a 5-carbon chain to make a 6-carbon chain. And ATP and NADPH are used to break up the 6-carbon chain, which is right here. Break them up. A 3-carbon chain is released, and a 3-carbon chain is added to make glucose. The 3-carbon chain is recycled after that into a 5-carbon chain with ATP, and it's just recycled back through. And that's how it works. In conclusion, the process of photosynthesis is basically divided into 2 main parts: the light-dependent reaction and the light-independent reaction. The light-dependent reaction happens when solar energy is captured to make a molecule called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. The independent reaction happens when the ATP is used to make glucose. The light-independent reactions produce carbohydrates by using ATP and NADPH that were formed from the light-dependent reactions. So, as you can see here, here's the sunlight pointing to a tight liquid membrane, and H2O, which is water, is being absorbed, and oxygen, O2, is being released from the thylakoid where the light-dependent reaction is taking place. And then here's the light-independent reaction, which takes place in the stroma, where carbon dioxide is needed to make sugar. And that's how photosynthesis works. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and have a good day.